Hey friends, Aaron Saviour here, coming at you from down Pallaranda way. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit sad. The tide's going out, but all good. Let's shoot a video. Now today, we're going to talk about higher means of motivation and lower means of motivation. Okay, we're going to talk about how those different types of motivations can fuel you and fire your motivation in different circumstances and in different ways. And then I'm going to talk about which of my most successful clients, what styles of motivation they use to their success. Okay, so let's break it down first. This is breaking it down very simply here, guys. It's a little bit more complicated, really, but higher means of motivation and lower means of motivation. So lower means could also be, called sort of surface level motivations, and higher means can sort of be called deeper forms of motivation. Surface level or lower forms of motivation are more reactive forms of motivation, or kind of like being reactive to what someone says, or being reactive to what you feel you should look like, or what you feel should be normal. For example, say someone calls you overweight, and you're like, oh, they're right, I'm overweight and I need to fix that because people think I'm overweight. So that's a lower form of motivation. Another lower form of motivation could be when you've got a bit of a chip on the shoulder. Someone says you'll never amount to anything, you'll always be a fatty boomba. When someone says that, you're like, I'm going to show them, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to come back, I'm going to rub it in their face, I'm going to show them who's boss. Now, these lower forms of motivation aren't bad per se. They can definitely fuel a strong, intense emotional link to your motivations. So they have their place. Now, the higher forms of motivation, the deeper sorts of motivation, are more so motivations that you are doing for yourself, not because of what other people think, or not to show other people, and not to appeal to some societal sort of perfection or some societal image. So, for example, a high form of motivation might be, I want to be healthy because I want to live a long life. I want to be happy. I want to feel good about myself. I want to live up to my personal standards of what I feel I should look like and feel like, and those sort of things. They're a little bit deeper. They're not because so and so said this, and they're not because I think people, the social media says I should look like this, or the media says I should look like that. So the higher forms of motivation are better for long-term success. But in saying that, those lower forms of motivation are very good at providing a very intense emotional kick to get you started. Now, oftentimes I see a lot of people starting out with these lower forms of motivation, and that's okay, that's fine. If you can start out with a high form of motivation, that's good as well, but the lower forms of motivation really give that kick. So a lot of people come to me and they're like, I want to look good for the summer, I want to look good for a wedding, I want to lose weight because my partner wants me to lose weight, that sort of stuff, and that's fine. Sometimes they can really give you a good kick, sometimes they won't, but sometimes they can, and you have this intense burn to want to make some changes. So what I tend to find, though, is people with higher forms of motivation, or people who transition into higher forms of motivation, stick to their lifestyle changes for the long haul. So some people have those deeper meanings, those long-term meanings that they want to do it for themselves. They will keep at it for longer because it's an ongoing thing. It's a sustainable. So short-term motivation is more like setting petrol on fire. You get this intense burst of flames and you're motivated very intensely for a short amount of time. The longer term higher forms of motivation are more like that searing, that hot coal, that coal that is not all up in flames, but it's keeping a solid heat going for a longer period of time. So the thing is, now that you know this, are you going to go, oh, that's it, my motivations are all, higher means of motivations now? You can't force that. You really have to believe it. And oftentimes it is that transition from a lower means to a higher means that is most successful. So if you do have a lower means of motivation, that's not a bad thing. But once you start to, you really need to understand that you need to use that now. Use that for motivation. Get some progress going. And you will find as you start to feel better, you start to feel good about yourself, you start to understand that the progress that you're making is making you feel better and you feel healthy and you're more focused and you're more energetic. The organic transition for a lot of my clients is, for the ones that actually stick to it long term, they start with the lower forms, they realize the benefits of what they're doing, they transition into high forms of motivation. They understand the benefits of what they're doing and realize, this is making me feel good. This is making me feel energetic. These are now my goals. So that's it, guys. That's so make sure use those lower forms of motivation well. Understand though that if you do not transition into the higher forms of motivation, you may not stick at it in the long haul. Good stuff, guys. I'll see you at the gym.